Welcome, everyone. This is Pilot News, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Derry Adwin.
Hi.
Arendis.
Hey, everybody.
And Cinders.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. And this week we are going to be starting out with some release notes.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, we have update 24.1, meaning where they're trying to see how many things they could fix from update 24. Of special note, first off is the arrival of Mirkwood to the legendary world a month early. Yeah, that was fun when that happened. Let's open it up a month early. I think, I haven't gotten to the end yet. Oh well. So yes, the most important thing, of course, is the updates, final cleanup, so that they could open up the Mirkwood area for the legendary server. So Honor and Ithil now have level 65 as the level cap, and you can enter into Mirkwood and into Enidwythe.
Okay, so what is this new in-game repeatable questing for Virtue XP on the Legendary Worlds?
Oh, that's because Endgame is now level 65 for them. So those quests are only going to be there. There's
additional questing for Virtue XP on the regular servers, but they added new ones for the Legendary Worlds only, since you can't get the
you can't
regular
do level 1.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I was just curious. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's phrased a little strange.
Okay, I'll grant you that. As for the items, the Guardian set bonus armor of the Indomitable Protector has had its healing and maximum morale bonuses reduced to plus 10%. Corrected
what were
a bug.
They before?
No idea.
Me neither. Okay.
Yes. Corrected a bug causing bonuses to the max morale buff of the Guardian skill Warrior's Heart to be too powerful. And
that's never a bad bug.
It's a bad bug when you depend on it and the devs fix it.
Right.
And then stats on Mirkwood, Enidwythe, and some Isengard gear have been updated to be more in line with the modern stat combination in values. Of course, those 3 locations. Okay, at least Mirkwood and Enidwythe will, of course, be related to the legendary servers, and I guess the Isengard stuff is looking forward to the next update.
Bum, bum, bum.
The quests and adventure areas. Enemy difficulty has been increased from level 61 to 84 up to the percentage values previously set for level 85. In other words, this of course is also for the legendary servers, since 61 to 65 covers that range. I have not had an opportunity to test this out because I'm still only level 60 on the legendary server, and I don't think I was playing anyone else in that level range either recently. Fixing issues that could cause Sharky's orders in the Gladden Fields from completing. The orders are now indestructible and are removed from a character's inventory when the quest is completed. And Rosgabel deeds now show up in the proper deeds tab. I remember what's showing up before. Let's see. Quests assisting Rosgabel removed Fix Me text / quest now gives out 2 oak leaves instead of 1.
Ooh.
And also for quests in Rosgabel, all those riled up critters in the stumps won't disappear after 5 seconds when you're trying to give them a taming treat.
That's helpful.
Yeah. And in Ended White, Heroes Quartermasters Zelowin and Gullwheel now require completion of the quest In Their Absence Chapter 15 in order to barter for In Your Absence Cluster Tier 2 Incomparable Set Gear. I will presume that relates to the Legendary server. And repeatable quests now include text showing whether or not you've previously completed the text. What that means is that for any repeatable quest, there'll be a green notice at the bottom saying this is a repeatable quest and say whether you have completed it before or not completed it before.
That was really helpful earlier today when I was questing.
Yeah. That sounds like it's super useful.
It was.
It's useful if you're trying to be completionist and do every quest at least once or something like that.
Yeah.
And I should know that because I'm going through a completionist character right now.
Right.
A broken travel route from Rivendell to Vegbar has been fixed.
To the Vegbar.
I'm telling you,
I'm just sticking with that pronunciation.
We have figured out why the elves do not have snacks. They had no travel route to get to the snacks. I'm telling you guys.
See, they really need to put pronunciation helps with these things, because until they're there, I'm going to totally call it the Veg Bar, just because of the way that it's written in here, and it sounds so awesome, even for somebody who hates vegetables.
All right, very well. Travel route to whether you call it Veg Bar or Veg Bar, whichever you call it, the
Elven snack bar.
I guess I thought that would Veg Bar in the Elves area, or is it in the Bjorning area?
I don't know. They both like good food.
Well, you got a good point there. Special time-gated Legendary Challenge titles are available on the Legendary Worlds for In Their Absence and Dol Guldur. This title will be available until the next level cap increase on the Legendary Worlds. So therefore, if you're able to complete those quests when the level cap is at 65, then you'll get this title.
That's cool.
As for festivals, Summer Festival, which starts on June 20th, which is 5 days as of this recording at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Tier 2 difficulty has been added to the boss from the vaults Thrang and see Campanula Chubb at the party tree for a new seasonal quest.
Ooh.
That is a name. Sorry.
It does sound like a rather strange name. And for the UI, in the Virtue Trait panel, offensive virtues now display a small sword icon, while defensive virtues display a shield. And I was noticing that yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And I know yesterday when I was running an instance someone in, was switching around my trait trees and going between them and having to reset my virtues for each of the trees, it was useful because I didn't have much time. I didn't want to hold people back. So I just said, okay, well, this one has a sword icon. This one has a sword icon. This one has a sword. I was just hoping I wasn't taking one that had will in it.
Well, those ones are all at the end.
Okay. Well, they are?
All the ones with will are almost all located in the last two columns towards the bottom.
Oh, okay. I guess that's good to know.
I don't know if it was alphabetized or something, sort of, but for whatever the reason, those tend to be at the end. Those in might.
Well, let's see. Well, I know the wisdom, for example, tends to be will-based, for example. So maybe it is that those particular types of items tend to end late in the alphabet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. The tutorials for class, race, and virtue trait panels are now properly displayed when the player opens the panels for the first time. And the character name filters now includes a more robust prohibition on religious names.
I'm still curious about that one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, all right, what have people been doing to get around the rules that prompted this little one?
Well, I know, and it would have to be something that would be like noticeably religious. Like,
Well, I have a feeling that what some people are doing was putting a religious name with dashes in between it or some other character like that, but written in a way that's obvious who they're talking about, but not the direct spelling.
so like Jesus, but with an H. No, I'm sorry, that's really irreverent.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's sort of kind of the point, I think.
Yeah, I think.
I mean,
exactly. Yes, I guess that's one way of putting it.
And I mean, this is why we now have that more robust prohibition, because, yeah.
I mean, apparently enough people were doing things that it warranted this. So,
or enough people noticed it if just one person was doing it and complained to make it seem like
it was being reported. I'm sure it was being reported like multiple times, because usually I don't actually know how reporting of names works, but I would imagine that it's more that you need like more than just one complaint of your name.
Yeah.
I would hope that you need more than one complaint.
Yeah. And I say we saw one name that was really offensive, and I think it was Sans Pine Leaf and I think all three of us reported it because it was just really inappropriate. I was just like, whoa, I can't believe that slipped through a filter.
Yeah. The ones who have those names, of course, do things to make things slip by the filter. Now, of course, not only is having an offensive name a violation of the rules of the game and form, but so is making a name that deliberately bypasses the filters.
Yeah.
So that means you're getting charged with 2 offenses instead of 1 when you do that.
Ouch. So the moral of the story, kids, is just be nice with your names here.
Yes.
Although you do occasionally get really funny ones, like what we've got with Girls in Middle Earth. Mm-hmm. And every now and again I'll see one and I'll be like, oh, that's good. I'll be like, Sans, look!
Yes. And as for known issues, Grey Mountain scaled instance chest items are not properly getting their chance to receive an item level bump when acquired from pending loot. We recommend that you turn on the option to always loot in those instances.
So we also forgot to mention the corrected animation issue for male race of man characters who hold 2-handed swords. I don't know what the issue was, but I'm a little concerned that swords have 2 hands.
But
thank you.
Sorry, I gotcha. I got it. It's like, now I want to see this.
I always find out about these things after they fixed it, you know?
It's like, dang it, why couldn't you guys give us a chance to preview it if we hadn't already seen it before you fix it?
Say they should do like GIFs of it, you know?
Yes, like put an image in the beacon or something. Like, this is what it was, in case you were wondering. Like, I think in the past they've talked about, invisible walls or invisible rocks, or this animation now works properly.
The character just running in space. That would be
just give us something here.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Ooh. Like just a compilation of, Middle Earth whoopses.
That could be like a whole YouTube channel or a whole Twitter feed.
Someone get on this.
All right. Now, I also heard a rumor that also included in this update was a new emote.
Yes, and it's the greatest thing ever.
It really is.
So I was scrolling through the LOTRO store, looking for that point on Thursday. It was they still had the all of the open or the upgrades for your. I'm telling you, I'm not having words today. Your storage. And so I was going through getting as many of those as I could because I have a storage problem just like Sans. Both in real life and fiction. I'll just be honest. And so I was scrolling through all of those and then I get bored. And so then I start looking for all of the different things, the featured things, and seeing if I can find like some cool mounts that Sans doesn't have yet. That could be like, ooh, Sans, you need to get this one too. And I saw this dramatic defeat emote. And I was like, oh, I've got to get this. So I got it, and I was on my high elf Cinderina. And
Oh my god.
Sans was on her high elf as well. And she had been doing something on her phone, and I was like, look. And so I had her look on her screen, and I turned my character around, and I did the dramatic defeat emote. And she started laughing so hard, she almost dropped her phone and was almost crying. And she's like, what is that? I was like, it's the dramatic defeat emote, isn't it great? She's like, yes! So, Cinderina has it, Emerlina has it. It may or may not have featured in, the Where in Middle Earth is Emerlina. But yeah, no, so it's so hysterical. And Arendis has done some experimenting with it as well. And she did take a screenshot. So that might appear at some point somewhere for people who actually want to see it, because we have evidence of a character on a spit. So
Pretty much. So, well, and for anyone who hasn't seen it, it really is a dramatic defeat. You type in the command for it, or you put it on one of I can't word either.
Skill bars.
Thank you.
I have those words because they're not mine.
So you type it in, or you hit the command or whatever, and all of a sudden your character just almost bends over backwards, like in the Matrix. Like one arm goes out, the knees are bent, and then and it's in slow-mo. And then it bends forward, and it kind of wheels its arms around a little bit, and then it kind of bends backwards, and then it falls, and you just hit the ground limp. Your character bounces just a little bit, still in slow-mo, mind you. Bounces just a little bit, with all your weapons and everything. So if you have a bow cosmetically equipped or anything, it's still there. And a little dust cloud will just come and poof once you hit the ground multiple times. And all of this, again, is in slow-mo. So it's absolutely hysterical. You can do it on top of things, which I experimented with and ended up with my character on a spit. It was fantastic. It's just, you really need to check it out. And thank you, Cinders, for sharing.
It's so great. I love it. It's like the, famous playwright now who has like these really long death scenes, and I'm missing the name, and he's really famous.
Hamilton?
No.
Shakespeare?
Yes! Shakespeare. Well, he has these really long, like, dramatic death scenes where all the characters have this, like, monologue before they die. And this is, like, the emote equivalent of a Shakespeare monologue.
Oh, no. Shakespeare has nothing compared to Wagner in long-winded deaths.
I haven't watched a lot of Wagner, and I haven't read the operas. I'm still trying to get somebody to do like the Ring Cycle so I can go see it. But oh my goodness.
Now what we need to do, this is our homework for this week. We need to go and we need to find some sort of Shakespearean monologue and get like a clip of someone speaking it, play it over that animation, and then post it somewhere. Because it would just be fantastic.
Best thing
just
ever.
Pick a monologue and just post it over this. Get someone who knows video editing and stuff, and this would be fantastic.
Oh boy!
Write it.
It's amazing. It's so great.
Actually, I'm just thinking of. It could go very well. I'm thinking of the Pyramus and Thisbe rendition from A Midsummer's Night Dream. And I think it would go lovely with a rendition of that play.
Probably.
that play within a play, especially since Pyramus and Thisbe is supposed to be hammed up anyway if done properly.
I'm just waiting for it to show up on the stage in Lotro for somebody to do that at the Yule Festival.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen.
I'm like, Yule Festival, okay, December needs to come. January, come on, let's get here.
Right.
Sorry.
Anyway, if you want to know what it looks like and that description wasn't enough, there is, of course, your emote collection window. And Sam Burke is apparently heading over to the game right now and trying to check it out.
Say, I don't know if it will truly do it justice, though, because I don't know if
Well,
there's a
it'll
way
be
to
small-
pop
it'll
it
be
out so you
small.
can see it. Yeah. And say, there's
Yeah,
nothing
you have
quite
to get
like
the-
it.
Sorry, you really do have to get the full effect, dust cloud and everything.
Well, there is that.
And say, I'm sure that it will feature on the next Girls of Middle Earth, because at least 2 of us are likely to have it on a character. So if you watch, I'm sure you will see it frequently because we will use it every chance we get because it is just amazing.
Shameless plug.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
I'm just wondering what LOTRO NPC was the first one to use that emote. The first one I remember, of course, clearly in my head is a certain orc in Mirkwood.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I'm just wondering who was the. Of course, I think that dramatic death might have been slightly different than this emote, but they do use There are occasional NPCs that die with the slow motion dramatic death.
Yes. It's a lot like watching trolls fall down. Like when you kill a troll
It is.
or a giant, it's very
Yeah.
similar to watching that.
Or the goblin that still has the floaty text over its head after it falls down dead.
Yes. Yeah.
I kind of.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, it would be great to use in conjunction with like the lecture emote. So you're like, give me this big long lecture telling this story, and then at the end you like dramatically fall down.
You're
Or you
literally
start
killing me.
lecturing and everybody else in front of you starts dramatically falls down.
Great. Okay.
No, but if you guys do it on girls, you need to have like multiple people do it in sync. Like just see everyone just dramatically go.
Yes.
"Meow."
Every time some defeat
Synchronized
happens,
dramatic
oh, here
form.
we go.
No, have a couple people doing the Elven dance 3, like the Bolshoi dance or whatever, and then the dramatic death on the other side.
Yeah, except that with girls right now, they're all
Little
little
burglars.
hobbits, and so they don't have the Elven Dance 3.
Okay.
Sadly. Although if that one was an emote somewhere, I think that would be hysterical to watch hobbits do. Especially if they made the hobbits do it kind of like children do. So, there's nothing quite like watching drunken hobbits doing it. That would be amazing. If they had like a drunken hobbit version of that elven dance.
I wonder how much air the hobbits would get, like with that first initial jump.
Like 2 or 3, like after your second or third beer on one of those drinking quests. If you could, like, one of the things you could do is when you did that emote, it would make it. That would be great.
Oh my gosh. Mary Rose in the chat. She's they're holding their sides from laughing so hard.
Say, we're kind of on that same boat. I'm kind of tearing up.
Oh my gosh. As soon as Cinders told me about it, I knew. I just immediately jumped into the store. It's so much fun. You have to try it from different angles too. It looks great from like behind your character.
Well,
but
like
I'm
as you're
assuming that
lying
from the
there,
front, it looks even better.
as you're lying there on the ground, though, like you know how like you can turn your mouse like you would turn your body, but without moving. Because until you walk, you stay on the ground, but your whole body will rotate, so you could like spin in circles face down, which is also really fun to watch.
It's pretty great. Some unsuspecting person comes up and goes, "Why are they lying on the ground? What happened to them?"
Right?
And they're just spinning in circles.
It's a game glitch. Next bug.
There
Characters
they are.
can no longer turn around in circles. grounded into being mode.
No, imagine if the game actually glitched and you couldn't get up, so you just see so much face planting across the landscape.
So terrible, but so funny. Especially if you had a whole group doing it somewhere like Bree.
Oh my gosh!
Where everybody pops in and out is like, what is going on? The Dragonava was defeated by the Kingmaster.
I think it's time to move on.
Okay, moving
Oh,
on.
my face hurt.
Let's head to the LOTRO Beacon, issue 115, where it looks like we have some Mirkwood elves from the Maladream preparing their plans at Ostgruth, I guess it's. Is it Ostgruth what it's called? Yes.
They're preparing the route to the veg bar. They've got their plans up.
This is how we are going to solve the problem of no snacks. War Council!
So that's why they attacked Dol Guldur.
Yes, Dumbledore had all the Doritos. No, the flaming hot Cheetos.
Yes! That's great.
I'm sorry, I'm done.
In the community,
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Oh my god.
in the
Okay,
community
sorry,
spotlight for this week, Wandering Around Arda posted a new outfit, a Black Owl of Mordor.
Yes, this is very cool.
Very cool, and of course with appropriate night shots.
Yeah, apparently the background is from the new area.
Oh, wow.
Oh no, that's not announced. Oh, that's inside the tunnel.
It's
Okay.
inside some. Oh, I haven't been there, so.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yes, according to the text of the article, it's actually from the new area.
Yes,
It is-
yes. Okay, I
so-
know it's at now.
So I'm going to
awesome.
quickly insert, because I don't think it's a spoiler. Not every tunnel looks like that, so please don't spend hours trying to adjust your graphics to make it sparkle like
oh
that.
no.
Because what ends up happening is much distress on the other end of the couch. Because everybody's screenshots are so sparkly, and why isn't there sparkly? So don't. It's its own separate thing, and it does sparkle when you get there. Regardless of how you have your settings. The higher your graphics, the more sparkly it is, but the crystals sticking out of the walls of other places are not supposed to look like that.
Right.
Just
okay.
FYI.
Okay. Yes. All right. Keep that in mind, and you'll know what she means when you get there.
Yes.
And La Famille Ada performs Aurora Churchyard. And there is a video on the link there. The Andune Ensemble plays their Tolkien tribute song. You can click on the link to watch that. The Gleaming Thread posted a new outfit focused on the Bjornings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watcher
I mean,
of the Wilds.
It was a
Looks
nice
really
outfit, but because bears.
Now, this one is a real night sky rather than inside the.
Yes, this
tunnels.
is an actual night sky. This is out of doors because bears.
Hey, I'm gonna have to go find that headpiece because my Bjorning needs it.
Wait.
Oh, that's the Hood of Night. You get it from the store,
Again, needs it.
but you can actually find similar hoods in other places.
I was gonna say, doesn't the hood for the burglar look similar? It just covers their face.
I think
Oh
so.
no, it's not the store. It's the skirmish camp. You get it from the classic vendor at the skirmish camp.
Ah.
It's expensive.
675 marks and 215 medallions, according to the wiki.
215 medallions is expensive. The mark's not so bad, but the 215 medallions is pretty steep.
It
Yikes.
looks so good.
Unless you
there's
skirmish all the time, in which case you're golden. Don't worry
That's
about it.
true.
Oh, in other words, I can get one, but
On the plus side, Arendis, it is not bound. I'm pretty sure. I can double check. So, I have it.
Oh, do you?
I do. Oh no, it is buy none acquire. Never mind.
never mind.
That's okay.
I do have it though. That and the matching robe.
As
Well,
our
okay,
resident cosmetic expert, I'm not surprised.
let's see. Madam Hunter's mantle that will require
Hobbit
a
present.
Hobbit present. Yes.
And I think that the jacket is a quest reward. I didn't actually click all of the links to find
Yeah.
where the pieces were.
Okay, but they do have links to tell you where they are, which is going to be useful.
But it's
Nice.
called the Exemplary Tough Jacket of the Enorian Tree, so that assumes new area.
Yeah.
Nope, it's a barter item in Minas Tirith.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I assumed it would be a quest reward in Minas Tirith or someplace like that.
I know, I was thinking that too, but apparently not. Traveler's Road-worn bracers are a quest reward.
Okay.
That's a Dunland quest reward, of course it is. It's not just for. There's like 2 or 3 different wrist pieces that give that appearance in Dunland.
Yeah.
And then the dirty to work boots come with bears.
Mhm.
It's a bear starter piece,
Right.
which is the whole reason I have a bear. I mean, literally the reason I made a bear was for the cosmetics.
Terry came for the boots.
Okay, yeah.
I came for the jacket, but
Oh,
Eh,
All right.
same diff.
the boots were a bonus.
the boots were a bonus.
Okay,
Those were
this
fun.
next one, it could not have been more perfect for our earlier conversation.
Yes.
Yes. Noodly and Chromite present Romeo and Juliet, a LOTRO theater-themed kin house. And you click on the link to check out their video. I presume it's a tour of the place.
Oh, I
And-
really hope they got that emote before they did that.
Please do.
I hope that emote is in there somewhere. If it's not,
Well, it was posted on YouTube on June 9th, which
Oh,
would be
nope.
before the emote was available.
oh, bummer. Okay.
Oh, well. But yes, Romeo and Juliet has been known to have an occasional
Dramatic death.
dramatic death in there, yes.
Only occasionally, mind you.
Yes. It'd be,
It's not like the whole thing is full of all kinds of drama. Um,
yeah. I could just imagine Mercutio. Poor Mercutio. All right. And the Minstrel Guild of Bria is proud to present Brandywine's 3rd Summer Music Festival on Saturday, August 10th. And you could click on their link for event details.
Cool.
So let's get into the Kin Hall this week. Legion of Lore Masters on the Crit Hollow server is a kin for casual players of all classes and all levels, despite the name, that help each other when needed. We pretty much do our own things most of the time. We have our own house open to decorations by members, a place to hang your hat and call home. If you're interested in joining our kin, send Pendelier an in-game email for an invite. For a moment, when I first saw the name, I thought, well, is it only open to lore masters?
You would think, based
Yes.
on the guild title, but apparently not.
Apparently not.
I'd say it'd be funny if you had to dress like a lore master, though.
Well, I mean, you can, because cosmetics, but
Mm-hmm.
It could be the kin
only
uniform.
those with robes need to apply? I don't know. It's not like there's a shortage of robes in Lotro.
Right? They're almost as frequent as pants.
Yeah, there is that. Now
Have
to
my
our
pants, have my robe. Have my pants, have my robe.
Don't forget the cloak.
Yes. That one's less
It will-
disconcerting.
Almost never give you a shirt.
They don't like the expression, take the shirt off someone's back. Seriously.
No, but you can sure steal their trousers.
All right, let's head into the weekly comments.
Poor Pine Leaf.
And this, if you think this is going to be 4 Pine Leaf, wait till we get the answer to the weekly comments. As you walk through Bree, you pass by a house. When a delightful aroma catches your attention, you see on the windowsill there a freshly baked pie, and no one seems to be in sight. What do you do?
Swipe it. I'm just saying.
There's always one in the crowd.
Look both ways. Take it, walk off nonchalantly, and hope that there are no dogs around to steal it when you hide it behind your back. Or, random strangers.
Random stranger. Yeah, you don't want
Is
random
that where that
strangers.
Really, really like pie. I want to take yours.
Well, it's not exactly like it was yours in the first place in this case.
Finders keepers.
Finders keepers?
Yep.
Hey,
I would think that
I'll bet,
somebody's windowsill, I think, is considered to be part of their property.
I was saving it from the cats.
You're just teaching them a lesson not to leave their pie unattended.
And really, I'm saving the cats and the dogs and the birds from all of those things that they don't need to be eating because it's not good for them.
Well, and here's the question, and maybe this is just me from personal experience, but I've never met anyone who puts a pie on their windowsill,
and expects it to still be there when they get back.
Well,
yeah.
Well, that is a standard trope, though. I don't know if it has any basis in reality, but it is a standard trope in that kind of setting on putting a pie on a windowsill to cool off.
Sandberg in the chat says, steal it, eat some, return it for a reward. And then in quotes, someone stole it. I managed to save it, but alas, it's already half eaten. I like that one.
That's good.
Right.
Just make sure you wipe your face first before you return it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Terry, did you have an answer for this one, or did you?
Nope. I mean, I can't top that, so.
Well, okay, you do have a point with that. Oh, well. Let's head into the fan site news. And Dane continues his adventure through the veils of Undoing in part 3 of his video series. There's a new LOTRO Players News podcast up, 308, Elven Snack Interventions, and that intervention is probably going to be related to the veg bar, I guess.
Yep, we didn't know it that week, but we now know.
He said it, guys.
Gameolio Dan plays through Book 5, Chapter 6 in The Steps of Evil. And Adventures with Elda has returned to LOTRO's stream, and you watch her first stream back. And Mythgard and Middle Arts continues with The Tolkien Professor. Adventures After Dark with Big Ed Mustafa. And Red Journeys on the Evernight server. And you can join Druid's Fire for her complete deeds to gain trait points as you watch her in Gondor Has No Druids, as she's trying to get more and more done to have every single trait point you can get, I guess. And Gravity 42 continues questing through Moria in this episode of The Road Goes Ever On. And the screenshot of the week is by Amber, who posted this week's screenshot, and it's on a real bright horse in a dark sky.
That's the Herald of Winter's Light, correct? At least the cosmetics for it. That steed.
Isn't that something you can get from the Winter Festival? Because I think I might.
Yeah.
I think I might have.
It's a Yule festival.
It looks really good.
I'm saying, I would guess she's somewhere in the Breelands.
Looks a
That
little
would be my
grayish.
guess, yeah, because it's a copper vein in that
Mhm.
shot. I'm thinking that's a war steed though, because that's not the antler horse. That's actually antlers on a horse.
Ah.
You guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm. And it looks a little bulky.
it looks a little bulky. Yeah, there is that. Yeah, probably has the war steed with the proper cosmetics.
Yep.
And that completes our beacon for this week. So let's head into store sales. And Terry Edwin, what's on sale this week?
Some really good stuff actually. Well, the LOTRO bonus days bring us 25% crafting boost, which isn't so great. But you can go there and back again, get 20% off now through June 20th. Milestone skills, Hurried Traveler and Returning Traveler, also Frequent Traveler, which isn't on here but is also on sale, Advanced Riding Traits, and Rally Horns. And then the weekly coupon gets you a Battle Potion of Restoration ×1 with coupon Cure Battle now through June 20th.
Whee!
Saying all of those things are great unless you are on like a hunter or a warden and you can get the ports anyways with a really short cooldown. But if you have characters that don't have access to those, or you don't run with a pocket hunter, Hurried Traveler and Returning Traveler and the other one are really great.
I will
5
have
minute
to tell you,
cooldowns.
I will have to tell you that my Warden on Honor has 2 milestones, 5-minute cooldowns.
Oh.
Yeah, and because I'm sorry that yes, and I've actually used those quite a bit. Despite the fact that I'm a warden and have all these ports, I still thought it was worth it getting on that warden.
And so he also has it on his other character that he runs with Sans and I, on Krakalo, because we're like, we're not messing around. 5 minute cooldowns. We're out of here.
Oh yeah, we're out of here. Yeah, you do have that.
When we remember to use them.
Now let's head into our LOTRO players site news, and we'll begin with Befriending Radagast Creatures Run Guide, and this is a new guide by Squirrel.
For the new area, though, so spoilers.
Yes, so therefore, I'm not going to talk too much about it, especially considering that I haven't gotten that far in the new area yet, and I suspect that's true for a lot of us here.
Right. I haven't even started. It's really sad. It's been out for 2 weeks and I haven't started.
Ah, yes.
I'm about like 40 to 50 levels under, so I'm not touching that for a while.
Well, yes, there is that. But anyway, this contains a little bit of overview, a couple of items talking about taming treats and all the like, giving you some tips on it, a full run guide.
And Sam, that explains the thing in the release notes saying that they are up for longer than 5 seconds.
Yeah. 5-minute Allegiance Hall port alternative. So he also talks about some of the alternate ways in which you could do this, because apparently this is a run in order to get to these 30 quests as quickly as possible or something like that. Whee! And I would presume this involves ports, or is this okay for hunt? Okay, the easiest alternative for you have besides Hunter or Warden ports are for the Allegiant Hall's travels. Once you unlock the travel, so he talks about where you could do it if you don't have a Warden or Hunter port with you. Okay, but anyway, I'll have to read that more carefully when I get to that point, which may be a while, because I am running a series on this, so I'm going at the speed at which I could post my stuff on YouTube and stuff like that, and not too much faster than it. And of course, we also have a Where in Middle Earth is Emeralina, and Cinders, what are you up to this time?
I have been dramatically defeated in an unspecified area in Middle Earth. And it is up to you to figure out where I am. Dun dun dun.
Where you have been defeated. And
Dramatically.
Dramatically
yes,
defeated.
dramatically. Yes.
It was quite
I will
dramatic. It was the
it's
bear's fault.
It was that last bear's fault? Yes. All right. So that's this week's We're in Middle Earth. And apparently last week's was south of Ost-Angobad in central Gondor, overlooking the river with Arthur in the background.
Yep.
Did I even look at last week's?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because I was sort of wondering, why did I have to go back and look at it, because how did I miss that one?
I don't know. Let's see, I just milestone and then ran out until I found somewhere random.
Did you find some random place?
Yep. And this time I was scarn hunting, so. And was like, hey, Sans, watch this. And I did the dramatic defeat. She's like, you've got to use that. It's like, okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, somehow I missed last week's for some reason.
Well, there wasn't one last week. It's from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago.
I missed last week? I'm sorry, guys. My bad.
That's okay. I wasn't on the podcast last week, so.
What was I doing last Saturday? I don't know. Okay.
All right. Let's then head into our new player question. And Arendis, what's our question this week?
This week, the question is about an NPC that I found. I was doing some inventory management, and I was in Bree, and I turned floating names off. So I guess, what is that? Is that the bank or the vault keeper? Oh shoot! I'm sorry, I can't word. Anyway. In any case, I was in Bree, and it was an NPC that had what looked like a red chest above its head. And so I tried clicking on it, and nothing would happen, and it said it was an escrow broker. And I'm sorry if I butchered the pronunciation on that, but my question is, what is that, and what does it do? Pineleaf's already laughing, so
I still want to know, because I've been told it relates to like housing stuff. But
it does.
Sans pays my housing stuff if I forget, so I never actually know what the
escrow broker does. It's basically if you lose your house, all of your stuff gets sent to the escrow broker, because anything that was in storage, you don't have that storage because that's, went away with your house. So the escrow broker keeps all of your stuff in storage until you can get a new house or pull it out to relocate it wherever.
Yeah.
And that's why I couldn't click on it. Okay, cool. Good to know.
That was an easy answer for a change.
I know, right?
Let's into our week in LOTRO. And Cinders, what were you up to?
Well, a couple of them are very similar. So I took Cinderina, my high elf lore master, into the new content with Sans. And we discovered a new emote, and it was the best thing ever. And so Sans normally goes into new content with Pineleaf and Terry, and I was like, I'm just tired of always having to figure out everything after everybody else has done it. She goes, well,
hold it. You are already starting ahead on the new content and leaving us behind?
No, you're not being left behind. I'll explain. Let me get there. So, but I was like, everywhere that I go, Pineleaf and Terry and Sans have already been for weeks, and they already know their favorite routes to get there, and I just never get to experience it as a new area. And she goes, okay, I'll pull Calandrian out, and Calandrian and Cinderina can go in together. She goes, but then you have to get Emerlina up so that she can run with Pineleaf and Terry and Sans. And she goes, and you can't give spoilers. I was like, okay. So, we did go into the new content, and it was really cool. which is how I know about the whole graphics thing. That part was not so cool, but we did get it solved. And then Emerlina helped some children in Minas Tirith, and she fought a Nazgul in a lower level instance. So when you're like, more than double the instance level, it's super fun on a Guardian because everything just falls over. And you don't have to spend a long time trying to beat it down. So that was a lot of fun. And then Emerlina also discovered the new emote, and it does feature in where in Middle Earth is Emerlina. So that was the exciting thing. I'm working really hard to have her ready to go by Tuesday night. She's like level 110, but 10 levels. I mean, that can't be that hard. And say, I just need to enlist Sam's help, and with a bunch of boosters from the LOTRO store, we can just run Storm of Methedras again for another 10 levels. Ugh.
Oh boy.
No, that's how we got them from 40 to 80 in 2 days.
Ooh.
It was actually really kind of funny, but then you had to go and do all of the back work because you missed all of the things that you would have to level up for that. And so we have some gear issues and such as that. And, 55 out of 68 quests. But that's down 3 from where it was when I started yesterday. So I'm working on it.
Okay.
Rendis, how was your week?
My week was good. I mostly just worked through some of the Mirkwood story on Landreval Arendis and did some much needed inventory management. For some reason, I think a rough estimate, I had 10 different power pots in my inventory, and I'm a champion. I don't know if I've ever used one of these things. These things have got to go. And then after some verification by all the other hosts here, they're like, why in the world do you still have these things? And my answer was, I don't know. I'm throwing them out right now. So that was good. I finally have some more bag space. I also had some fun with the new emote that Cinders found. I went and tested it in one particular camp in Mirkwood that has a spit over it. Because I had accidentally ported onto it one time, and I was like, oh, you can actually stand on this thing. Let's try the emote on it. And so I now have a screenshot of Arendis just lying parallel to the ground on top of a spit, and it looks like she's being roasted. It's pretty great. So thank you, Cinders, for sharing this emote. It's been pretty fun.
You're welcome. I'm going to put a little note
Terry.
in before I forget so that Sans knows to look for that screenshot and stick it in.
Yeah, sure.
Somewhere.
I can send it to her just in case. I mean, it's not quality screenshot, but it gets the story across. Terry, how was your week?
Well, I didn't do whole lots of stuff, but I did, on Laurel and Terry, finish out the epic battles of Helm's Deep with the Battle of the Hornburg, and I got a sweet necklace out of the deal. And then she finished up in Aldburg and is headed to Fenmarch. And so she's hit level 92. I'm so excited. I hit 91 in the Battle of the Hornburg, and then out on the landscape again, hit 92. So
Sweet.
Slowly getting up to that level cap. It'll be my second Terry at level cap. Pine Leaf, how about you?
All right, on Honor, my warden there captured a very obnoxious orc.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, is there any other kind of orc?
Oh, this. Well, all right.
Ask, but...
I would presume that they're obnoxious.
I'm assuming he's talking about the obnoxious orc in Volume 2.
Yes.
Who is obnoxious even for an orc.
Yes, I am speaking of the orc of the Infinite Escort quests, where in the episode I recorded today of my completionist series, I was talking about that particular one, and I said, I've come to the conclusion that this guy is the worst person you could escort in the entire game. And yes,
really?
Worse?
And I said, yes, and I was saying that, yes, I do remember Sarah Oakart.
I was about to ask.
I was going to say, because I don't know.
Sarah Oakheart is still the worst, but Mazog is definitely the most annoying escort. I mean, at least with Sarah, she's slow, but nothing really happens.
Right.
Same with Lalia.
Escorting the orc, I mean, it's dude, he runs you through these prickle bushes. You have to go through like slow patches in the swamp, and then he takes off, and you got to try and catch him without getting lost, and hope that you don't, hope that you manage to make it to the destination, and hope you can find the destination. Because good luck finding your way out of the swamp in Mirkwood.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I failed that instance.
Oh, so it is possible to fail it? Like
It is absolutely possible to fail that instance. Yes.
Ugh.
Oh yeah. I failed it. I think I failed it more times than I've succeeded at it, to be perfectly honest with you. And I've done it on a lot of characters now.
Oof.
I usually fail it first, and then I have to remember how to not fail it and do it again.
I agree. I'm not even sure I've ever failed it.
I failed it regularly.
I think I've only ever done it once.
If you miss the direction of one torch, you're screwed.
Oh
well,
boy.
I guess you got a point with that.
You have to pay attention to torches right from the beginning, and when I first did it, I couldn't see the torches correctly, either because I was so completely turned around, or because of the way my graphics were set. So yeah, I think Terry, my original Terry that went through it, failed it about 3 times before I finally succeeded. I was really frustrated with it.
Oh, I bet. I think I've either skipped it or I haven't gotten there yet, because I don't remember ever doing it.
Where are
probably
you?
Just haven't gotten it yet.
Where have you gotten to Mirkwood yet?
Yeah, she's in Mirkwood. She
I'm
did
in
the landing
Mirkwood.
like 2 weeks ago.
So I bet she hasn't gotten there yet then.
Yeah, she probably isn't there yet.
Oh, have you made it to the Haunted Inn yet?
I don't think so, probably
Okay,
not.
yeah, so I have a feeling that this next week you're going to run into that instance.
Oh, boy.
Hey, but now you have the tips to do it. They already told you.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, just pay attention to the torches. You'll be fine.
Okay. Anyone want to make bets on how many times I'll fail it first?
Oh, we'll do that, but we won't tell you. We'll just do a
great.
secret poll, and then at the end you'll tell us, and we'll be like, yeah!
There you go. I'll update you guys once I do it.
I'm kidding.
Oh, boy. All right.
I'm sorry.
Okay, yes, right. Captured the obnoxious orc, and so I had the first escort quest involving that, and that was, of course, being his home. And during that time, I finally figured out Durin was in the middle of the name room. Oh, no. How many times have I done this and not noticed that?
Wait, so what?
Well, the throne room of Durin.
Okay.
It's this big, long name. I can't remember the full name of it, but the middle 5 letters of it are Durin, and I had never noticed that before.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, now I don't feel so bad.
So I guess that's my highlight, is finally figuring it out. Of course, Durin's throne room would have his name in it. We're talking about Durin here, after all. Then, during the field trip, first off, we had the Evendem group go up, and we finished up our time in Ostfarad. And then as we finished that up, we then switched to our... Actually, I think it might have been the other way around. Where actually, I think we were first in Rohan, but Sanswinda had to leave early, I believe. I think that's what it was. So therefore, we were doing this. We tied up some loose ends in Adoras and finished up an instance there. Then we were sent over to Stoke. And I believe we went around in Stoke and found some barricades and stuff like that. And after that, Sanswinda had to leave. Then came on the Evendim group, and in the Even group we finished up Osferad and those little parts in there, and also did the Rantost stuff, so that we did that instance with the Rangers where you're supposed to go and protect those 3 locations, and boy, is that easy when you've got 3 people there. And on Friday Night Fights, we ran Fornost, the Water and the Earth Wings. And this is actually the Water Wing of Fornost does feature a time when Sarah Oakart does actually get into trouble because she runs faster than she does anywhere else and then opens up doors and says, "Oh, look what's behind here." Sometimes there are people to be rescued, and sometimes there are orcs that attack you.
So what's behind door number 1?
Yeah, what's behind door number 3? Yes. Yes, Sarah Oakart, the Monty Hall of LOTRO.
Yeah, I think every time I've run that instance, they've been like, "Don't activate her. Don't activate her." I'm like, why?
No, because we ran it and said, "Go ahead."
So I think we did do that one time.
We did.
Was that the one where we were all like dying though? Like we died like
No.
7 or 8 times? No, that was a
No,
different
that
one.
wasn't. That was the burglar group.
Okay. You
no,
guys
that
let
was-
me do it with the overlevel group when you guys were leveling M.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, we were like, "Yeah, go ahead. It's fine. Go ahead."
We had like 3 max level champion or hunters
Yeah,
and a max
everything
level
just died.
champion, and yeah.
I run into a Shing Shing and everything just drops. It was awesome.
Then let's into news beyond LOTRO, where we have a poem by Darren Loremaster, The Death of Feanor. Ah, Morgoth, Balglir, damned dark lord, I curse you by my sharp-edged sword. Thou black foe of both elves and men, I curse the name of Morgoth again. Deceiver, liar, fleeing thief, accursed be Morgoth, he the chief of evil recreants on earth. 3 Cimmerils my hand brought forth, and made by arcane arts to none beside me known. The evil one slew my own father at my door, plundered my jewels that he came for, and fled to Middle Earth. I came despising his once mighty name, to slay him and my jewels restore. My pride led to my fall. Wherefore, my sons, with eyes of death I see this truth. The Dark Lord, where he be, in Angband by no mortal hands shall be cast down. Safe in his lands he shall remain for centuries, despite us having crossed the seas to hunt him down. He is at bay. My sons, the oath you shall now say again. Repeat it. On my ear it sounds yet beautiful. More dear to me than woman's love, your oath of vengeance, as if comes to both my ears. Too late. Here now I die. My spirit burns inside. Goodbye, my sons. My 7 sons, farewell. Live and bring Morgoth down to hell. Work my revenge by every ill until restored each Cimmeril is in your hands. Your hands alone. Your deeds must now my oath atone. So where does Lord Feanor lie? Where is his body that did die? Consumed to ashes was the same and is no more. But still his name is joined with the three Cimmerils whose story Middle Earth yet fills, for which the Nodor, gods and men waged grievous war, and thence regained. It sounds like to me that Fëanor needs the dramatic death emote.
He does.
Agreed.
Insert dramatic death emote here.
Right? Or at least whoever's reading that poem.
Okay, finally, now you have the dramatic.
Video emote of Pineleaf's character. Doing the story with, ooh, that's what it should be. Pineleaf should get his pine leaf and have them do like the lecture emote with that in going over the top of it, and then at the end do the dramatic death.
Yes.
That would be great. It would be like an actual visual of what we just heard.
Exactly.
We already have the reading clip. Now we just need the video clip. We're good, guys. We got this figured out. Because the lecture mode goes on for like forever.
It does.
Yeah, it certainly does.
And so you can use it for the entire length of the poem. And then dramatic death.
Dramatic death. Well, actually,
Puffs of dust.
I think you'll use it between the two stanzas because you have the long stanza where Fëanor is speaking, and then you can have the dramatic death, and then you have the, as you're on the ground or whatever, you have the second stanza, which is the short one where they're talking about where Fëanor lies.
Oh, so we need multiple people in this one. Multiple little hobbits, and they can all do the mourn emote. You know, where they're like crying and shaking their head for the last stanza. Yes. Okay. So we have a new goal this week, guys.
Yeah. You're thinking, I don't know why, you're thinking hobbits and I'm thinking high elves.
Well, I'm thinking hobbits because Pineleaf is a hobbit.
Yeah, I was thinking.
But wouldn't it be great to have high elves like in the background doing the
Just shaking their head like bawling? That would be great. Okay, that would be awesome. We need a mixed variety.
I'm so down for this.
Well, I have a feeling we'll need permission from Darren Loremaster before we do that.
Oh, that's true.
All right, does anybody know how to get a hold of him?
We'll figure it out.
I now have an agenda, guys. Like, I know what I'm doing with my summer.
You cut out a little. What'd you say?
I said, I know what I'm doing with my summer. Finding all of the creative ways to use the dramatic death emote and contacting the people who need to give permission for it to happen.
101 ways to die dramatically. Or however many, I don't know.
There's our show title. No vote. Right there.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm positive I can find 101 ways.
Maybe the other suggestions were good, but that's it. I'm calling it right there.
Okay.
Say jumping off of a cliff, falling down the well, doing the dramatic death emote. Whoops! Off the top of Minas Tirith, dramatic death emote.
No, like, make sure that you hit something on the way down so you're like suspended in midair, just boom, face planting on
Land on a chicken. Okay. I'm stopping
God.
now. Sorry.
Right? Yes. When we started the show, we had 18 supporters on Patreon. If you would like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or a be guest with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News. We did not receive any emails this week, though I'm sure we will next week.
I'm counting on it.
And if you'd like to send us money, you can send it to podcast@lotroplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotro Players @LotroPlayers, Arendis @Arendis, Pineleaf Pineleaf Eagles, Sandwinda @Sandwinda, and Terry Edwin @Terry Edwin. And you can follow Cinders @Emeralina. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Thursdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Players News. You can join us for our live shows at lotroplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Polly Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.